Hello and namaste to my Skill Ninja family. I hope you all are doing great. तो कैसे हैं आप सब बढ़िया ही चल रहा होगा. Let's welcome you to another very different episode of कुछ खास with Kavleen. तो जल्दी जल्दी हमारे साथ जुड़िए और जुड़ते ही हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में हाय हेलो इमोजी सेंड करिए, जिससे हमें भी पता चले कि आप लोग कितना हमें प्यार दे रहे हैं और आपको हमारे पॉडकास्ट कैसे लग रहे हैं. डू लेट अस नो थ्रू द कमेंट सेक्शन बिलो. So as you know, you must have seen the flyer of this podcast. तो कुछ आइडिया तो हो गया होगा, राइट? तो आज का हमारा पॉडकास्ट कुछ डिफरेंट है. एंड वो क्यों डिफरेंट है दैट आई विल बी टेलिंग यू. व्हाई? बिकॉज दिस इज रिलेटेड टू किड्स, चिल्ड्रन. एंड एज यू नो, इट्स अ लेडीज प्लेटफॉर्म वेयर वी एम्पावर लेडीज. बट जब हम लेडीज की बात करते हैं तो लेडीज के लिए सबसे पहले उनके बच्चे ही आते हैं, जिनके बारे में वो हमेशा सोचती रहती हैं. उनका बेस्ट, उनका अप्स एंड डाउन्स लाइफ में कैसे हैंडल किए जाएं, उनको स्ट्रॉन्ग कैसे बनाया जाए ताकि वो एक ब्यूटीफुल पर्सन बनकर इस लाइफ को हैंडल करें. सो आज हमें बच्चों की लाइफ के बारे में और डेप्थ नॉलेज देने के लिए हमारे गेस्ट हमारे साथ हैं, जिनका नाम है मिस सुगंधा भंडारी. एंड शील बी हेयर विद अस and she'll be giving you knowledge about so many different things today, different aspects of life जो एक child के लिए बहुत important है to be an active citizen. So let's welcome our honored guest, Miss Sugandha Bhandari. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kavleen. Firstly, thank you for having me on your podcast. And I have heard your podcast and you do an amazing job. And before I get into my introduction, I just want to give a shout out to Ritu ji as well, Ritu ma'am, and in your entire team for actually working and putting so much effort behind building this beautiful Skill Ninja Academy and the community that you guys are
Thank you
building.
so much.
So kudos to you guys, firstly. और आपने जैसे शुरू किया, thank you for the lovely introduction. I will just add a little bit more to it. You are very right. You know, sports has been an integral part of my life. And just not that, I have learned a lot while playing competitive racket sports. I have represented my school in the under 17s and under 19 in table tennis. And I have also volunteered and worked on coach side on major global sporting events like Asian Games, Arab Games, and ATP tournaments across the world. So it's just been so much more to it as well. And I have also volunteered for a lot of non-profit organizations like Head to Head, Jumpstart, that really focus on the access to play and bending the gender gap, particularly in sports. So alongside this, I have done my undergrad in the UK and I did my master's in international business and strategy in France and Canada. And I have spent a decade in working in global retail industry as well with the likes of Qatar Sport Investments and Go Sport. But वो कहते हैं ना कि you're building your career, you're passionate and you're working towards it. But suddenly there was always this question, not suddenly actually throughout, कि there's one thing that I always kept back coming on it. And it was, why don't more kids grow up loving movement, grow up loving sport? And after doing a lot of research and surveys around and, talking to a lot of parents, I understood there was an opportunity and there was a gap. And that led to building Sprout and Sport with one belief that play and sport matters. And it is on a very simple framework of move, fuel, and feel. We will unpack more as we go. So
Yes.
let's just dive into the topic of power to play.
Sure, Sugandha, I'm sure. As you people know now, she has explained very elaborately about herself that who is she, and majorly she has a sport background. She has been diving into the sports because of her parents. I would say sports is in her roots. That's the main thing. And today also she'll be guiding us why it is so important for our children to be in the field of sports. It's not only a playing aspect, but a lot more to that. So we'll be asking few questions from her, obviously, which will help our kids to be active in life and how they can use sports as a medium of, I would say, knowledge, as a medium to become a better citizen, a better human being, an active person in life. Okay, so चलो गपशप का सिलसिला शुरू करते हैं. So Sugandha, I would like to ask the first question from you. Like, if you talk about sports, बच्चों के लिए प्ले एक्चुअली सिर्फ खेलने के लिए मैटर करता है या इज इट समथिंग मोर टू इट?
It's fun and it has to be fun, But there is so much more to it. कभी कभी पेरेंट्स उसको obviously health reasons हैं, you know, everyone talks about the health benefits that you're active, your child becomes active, but today I will just unpack little bit more where parents कई बार उसको नजरअंदाजी कर देते हैं. So at
Hmm.
a very early age or young age, it matters the most because, you know, child की overall growth, development happens at that age. So with play or through play, they're learning, they're understanding, they're taking small risks, they're failing, they're losing a game, and they're trying again. And they are practicing how to communicate, you know, amongst their friends, and they are slowly building memory and focus as well. And along the way, they're solving these tiny problems. I'll just give you a simple example. Just a blocks को किस जगह पे fit करना है, you know, as simple
Right.
as that. एंड प्ले ग्राउंड और स्लाइड्स जब वो खेलने जाते हैं अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ,
Hmm.
अपनी सॉरी बारी का वेट करना, यू नो, they
Yes.
have to just patiently stand and see and let people. So there's a lot of civic sense as well involved in it that comes up when you're trying to play that. और ये धीरे 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 इंडिपेंडेंस एंड कॉन्फिडेंस में कन्वर्ट होता है
Okay.
for a child. And while the child doesn't even know, it's working in the background for them, you know, behind the scenes उसके लिए वो ये सारी चीजें काम कर रही हैं. And it's just not me or the society who keeps talking about this. There's actually research, well established pediatric research centers in India and across the globe that states that the brain development is directly linked with how much children move, explore, and imagine. So
Okay.
at first it is very simple, but all these experiences really add on in the later stages of life as well.
Okay. So if I ask you that, is there any specific age when the kids should get into sports, and how important it is to start it from early?
Sure.
जल्दी शुरू करना
uh,
जरूरी है या लाइक ठीक है कभी भी आप शुरू कर सकते हो?
अगर मेरे से पूछे कवलीन, प्ले काउंट्स एट एवरी एज. मस्ती, थोड़ी मस्ती इज, यू नो, इम्पोर्टेंट थ्रू आउट लाइफ, राइट?
Yes.
But I will break it down for you that why in early on it matters the most, and I'll break it down and quickly in the age brackets as well, right? So 0 to 3 years is generally your infant and toddler, going up to your toddler years, right?
Hmm.
इसमें 80% of your brain development is done, is built. So all those smaller activities that parents do at home, from tummy time to tiptoeing, you know,
Right.
all these activities really add up, build strength. They are developing their gross and fine motor skills as well at the same time. So it builds up as a foundation for sport later on. Now 3 to 5 is your toddler age, I would say, right? They're going towards the young adults now, slowly, slowly. So sport or play becomes more structured, it becomes more social, and it becomes more like a skill building. You have a lot of activities like running, jumping,
Hmm.
skipping, hopping. These really help in building their stamina as well. मैं पेरेंट्स को एडवाइस दूंगी कि, you know, start making it predictable at this age. Build a routine. Saturday equals to park time, or even during the weekday, you know, 5 or 6 p.m. Put that slot for them, so it comes like builds like a habit for them eventually.
Right.
Then you move into the elder ages, like 6 to 8 years old, right? This is where confidence starts showing up in their strength, balance, and rhythm. Now you can add them into, or sorry, send them into mini team sport games like football,
Okay.
cricket, basketball. They will start understanding socially how to play with others, or the coordination starts coming up as well. And the last is, or I was going towards your teenagers, the 9 to 12, and the 9 to 13 years. This is when movement is now a mindset, right? It is, play is now actually turned into a sport. So spot where they're really enjoying it, spot the game that they're liking, and then push them a little bit towards taking up more sports. Don't focus on one thing. Allow them to play as much as possible. And body image becomes a big thing in 9 to 13 years. So parents can ask, you know, when they come back, ask them some questions. How did it go? कैसा था आज? You know,
Hmm.
what did you learn in your game, or something on those lines as well. And lastly, just allow them to fail, because failing and giving them that space is really important.
Okay. Thank you so much. The next question, if I ask you, how do movement and nutrition go together? And especially at this age, like when the kids are into growing age.
Yeah. So movement and nutrition go hand in hand. बिना अधूरे हैं, I would say that, right? A child that's been running around the whole day, okay? अगर उसको सही fuel नहीं देते हैं, they will start
Hmm.
crashing by the evening and they become cranky. And I'm sure our listeners, our audience have those parents that really understand the feeling as well of
Yes.
that. So simple things again, a banana, a cheese snack, right? Some small pack of nuts, just before they go out and play, before the playtime starts for them. It really gives them the energy and it really helps rather than those sugar rush things that, crash their energy in 20 minutes. So
Okay.
also water wins over juice before
Okay.
and after the active play. So these are your basic, not necessary your diet charts, at between 0 to 5, no diet charts, but sahi fuel, sahi time pe will really take them a longer in when they're trying to pick up an activity as well. And if you're talking about young adults, yes, I would suggest like after 6, 7, 8 years, it is very important to start focusing on the nutrition right plan, specifically if they're in a particular sport. So depending on what sport they take up, whether it is tennis, whether it is badminton, or they're doing a team sport like cricket, the stamina or they require, what kind of carbs or what kind of proteins, it is now necessary to chart that out with their coaches, with their trainers.
Okay. So, Sugandha, if many parents, I think, feel that till the time sports उनके बच्चों ने नहीं किया by the age of 12, right? They are not into sports. So, is that necessary कि parents को hope छोड़ देनी चाहिए कि अब वो sports में नहीं जा सकते and they should shift them entirely to academics? Or is that also a time where they can motivate them to be a part of sports?
Kaveen, if I'll talk from my perspective and personally as well, they should continue. So
Okay.
yeah, sports is just even if the child isn't a star player, right? Sport really helps in the background, like I started in the beginning saying that. And if they're not building that skill on the field or the pitch, they're actually taking away a lot of life lessons. Again, very small things like consciously showing up, never giving up
Hmm.
for themselves and for their team, even on a bad day, they're actually there with their teammates playing. So these are things that later on for a child really helps them in their struggles, in their deadlines, and in their setbacks in their life as well. Many famous international players, global players like Michael Jordan, Roger Federer, even Mary Kom as well. They were not amazing at the age of 12. They played all the
Right.
sports possible, and later on, with consistency and motivation, today we know their names and who they are.
Right.
So it's sport for is a habit actually, right? Usko
Okay.
build करने दीजिए, especially at the age of 12, 13, 14, because dropping at that age means they're altogether dropping an active and healthy lifestyle. And
Okay.
academics also becomes demanding at the very same time. So 30 to 40 minutes or every day, whatever they want to play, even dance, these are the
Okay.
things that let them do 30 to 40 minutes every day. And if a child really enjoys it, उनके लिए वो really खुशी देता है, right? But
Hmm.
they're not amazing at it. Doesn't matter. That's the time that parents need to lean in rather than pull back. And
Okay.
you can talk to their coaches, you give them some extra training, find places where they feel more comfortable to enjoy that. Because like I said again, जो जो छोटी छोटी चीजें खुशियां देती हैं उनको एक्टिव बनाती हैं, वो लॉन्गर रन में उनको बैलेंस और डिसिप्लिन भी सिखाती हैं.
Right, it will benefit them later,
Definitely,
sooner or later.
definitely,
That's the main thing, right?
definitely,
Okay.
yes.
So, audience, I would also like to tell you, I'm delighted to tell you that Sugandha has also written a children's book, and we would like to know more about the children's book from her only. Yes, Sugandha, you may let us know a bit more about your children's book, that what
Sure.
it is all about, the name, everything.
Sure. I have written the children's picture book and it's titled as Leela's First Bike and suitable for 3 to 6 years old. And honestly, very honestly, casually, I was just sitting with my friends, and thinking back in 2024, ki what are the channels or ways I can really help? I've joined non-profit organizations. I'm working in corporate, building my career, but there was some kind of some kind of fulfillment that I was looking for as well. And it struck me that why not write a book, and write a book that is very simple, very easy for kids to relate, right? And if they want, they will take away the learnings as well. So the
That's
learnings
true.
of trying again and failing. And what best than writing a book about a kid trying to learn how to ride a bike for the first time.
That's the
So
first step.
yes, and all of us resonates, right? We look
Yeah.
back and think, when we pick the book, we think about our own childhood. So
Mhm.
that came in, and I worked with my illustrator. Her name is Sachi Shukla. And we worked for good 3 months on the illustration as well. And I published it in globally on Amazon back in May 2025. And then I republished in India in October 2025 on Amazon, and it's available on Flipkart and Notion Press as well. So if anyone, any of our listeners is interested on actually picking that book for their, anyone, for their children or nieces, nephews, they can go on my Instagram page and check out that link.
I feel that that book, as you said, we all can resonate with that. And I feel even the children who are grown ups, they'll feel connected to the even the little title of
Thank
that book and what is there in the book. So we will be
book, yeah,
curious to know. Even I am curious to buy it. Made that book be I want my son to read this
please.
book, to be honest, because maybe something, we can take any lesson from anything, any piece of writing. It's just on our mindset and our vision. That's the main thing. You have given
Yeah,
your bit to the book. Now it's the time for the audience to explore and
definitely. And
engage themselves into that.
sure. And please, reviews,
Yeah.
any feedback, I'm always open to that as well.
Yeah, sure. Our ladies will surely give you reviews and
Please.
feedback. Okay,
Sure.
so now I would like to know what is exactly Sprout and Spot, and walk us through a session, like क्या होता है exactly उसमें, उसके
So,
sessions में, and what is the Sprout and Spot, because ladies would like to know, maybe it helps them in their life.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Sprout and Sport is an early learning platform, right? And it's built on one belief that play and sport matters for all. It is
Okay.
basically that every child's the first movement and the first play should be more joyful and not under pressure. So we help kids from their first movement or the first play activity right up until the early ages when they are getting into the more structured sport as well. So that is the idea behind it. And we have three core pillars that we work on. It's workshops, that is B2B as well as B2C. So families,
Okay.
I do directly with the kids as well. And I work with schools to run those workshops in there and build their
Okay.
creative or activity curriculum. And I also run enrichment programs for trainers and coaches as well. And as well as workshops for parents who are really interested in how they can support their kids. So this is the workshop pillar. The second
Okay.
pillar is book. Like I said, we have written the book, and there's
Hmm.
another book on the way coming
Okay.
up. So we have that pillar, and the third is something called edutainment, which is education plus entertainment. So these
Entertainment.
are Hanji. So these are short form animation, movies, or you would say series that help in understand the physical literacy or teaches them physical literacy both to the kids and the and parents as well. So these are the core three pillars. Now, walking through the session quickly, I just had one previous Saturday, and I have one upcoming as well this Saturday.
Okay.
And we generally pick a book generally correlated to sports, right?
Okay.
Actually, market में इतनी available नहीं, and that was also one of the reasons I wrote when I was researching.
Hmm.
And sports, yeah, any sort of learnings. We do have lots on moral science or the moral education and the civic sense and self-awareness. But sports के genre में बहुत कम होती है. So I kind of I look around and research, and then I pick the book. And then I build the activities. So the entire activity zone is correlated to the book. So we do 15 minutes of storytelling. And after the storytelling, we put them into the activity stations. Now we challenge their
Okay.
agility, we challenge their coordination, again, which helps them back, building that entire holistic development as well. So this is what we do in our sessions. So small, like last time we had the something called Good Night Soccer by Michael Dahl, and we ran activity stations to how to the skills behind how to kick a ball, how to pass. So these are basic motor skills that help them to build the coordination. It's an hour session, and I currently run across Tri-City. So anyone again who is interested to know more, please DM me or Instagram पे आप follow कीजिए, उस पे I keep posting when my next session is.
Okay, thank you so much. And if Sugandha, like all the parents are not that sporty, right? Or especially when we talk about the our parents, right? They were not sporty, and तो उन्होंने वो हमें भी वैसा नहीं बनाया. We were not that much into sports. But अगर हम आज की generations की बात करें, right? If suppose I am not that sporty, but I want to raise an active child, so how can I do that?
Again, Kavleen, parents को athlete बनने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Hmm.
So all that happens as a three things that you can do regularly with your kids is, number one, be a part of their activities. Show up,
Okay.
be present. Even if you're trying to kick a ball and if it's not straight, the kids, all they enjoy is you showed up and you were there for them. So this is the second thing is motivation, right? When you're watching a game or a match, make them sit and watch with you. It kind of
Okay.
builds in their idea, oh, this is what sports is, or this is the kind of game that I want to pick later on. So these are the things. And the third thing is, if you really can't help or you don't know what it is, you can always be an enabler, right? So find the
Right.
right training academy, find the right workshop that you can take them to. So let the coach do the work and be there as a backbone and a supporting guiding system for them, so they can also learn, and they know that if it doesn't go their way, they always have their parents' support with them.
That's true. Okay. So when is your next session coming up? As you told us, but the exact
Sure.
date I would like to know.
Exactly. So next session is on 8th August at the
Okay.
Woodlands House School in Panchkula Sector 8. And
Okay.
it's 10:30 to 11:30. And after that, we have another session on 22nd of August as well, at the same time, at the same place. Agar in between और भी sessions होंगे, I will keep posting it. So please keep an eye on
Okay.
it.
Thank you so much. Okay. So at last, before winding up this podcast, which is a motivational one, I would like to know if any particular message you would like to give to our ladies for raising active kids, I would now say. Yes?
Sure, I would also take this opportunity to just quickly talk on the lesson. I kept mentioning about the lesson that this is quite personal, and I would like to share with the ladies on this podcast is I learned a lot. I learned humility to discipline through sport. But one thing that has stuck with me is resilience. That
Okay.
when you lose that one game, one set, you can't dwell on it during the match. You have to come back up and play the next shot. So it's the same thing in life. And I've taken away from it when struggles come up, when there are ups and downs, when things are not going your way, you can't just spiral into it. You can't just get stuck with it. You just have to keep moving, So being resilient, and the whole quality of resilience came through that. But I would just say for the ladies as well, kids don't have to be the best. There are a lot of avenues to sports as well. The only thing that you have to keep or pushing them is motivate them, and consistently they have to show up for what they love. So just keep doing that, and everything will follow through.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for being our guest. And it was such a motivational podcast, I would say. And for sure, our ladies would benefit from it and they can raise an active child. If I'm not saying that is mandatory to send them to sports, but yes, you can make your kids active by the tips she has given us. And these tips are very practical. If you consider like the way she guided us about the superfoods which you can give to your kids just to make them active, you can try on that. Nutrition is, as she told, is very important, but before with nutrition, movement is also important, and movement is not equal to sports. It is just letting them show up. That's the main thing. Yes, Sugandha, you want our
Yes,
kids to
perfect.
show up, whether you are running, whether you're walking, whether you are dancing, enjoying. If you're enjoying, obviously that will benefit you in future. So thank you so much for being our guest, and it was a lovely session, lovely having you here. Thank you so much, our Skill Ninja family, also for being a part of this podcast. See you in the next podcast. Bye bye. See ya till then.
Bye. Thank you.